everyone, and we have a bunny Eastery themed picture to have a go at today. This is from Botanicum by Maria Trolle, and as I have planned for this to go out, hopefully if I get my dates right, over the Easter weekend, I thought it would make sense to have some sort of Eastery theme. We've got some little eggs here, we've got our bunny, we've got lots of spring flowers. It just seemed like a really good picture to have a go at. Now I have grabbed my Prismacolor pencils. Now I know some of you loathe them, don't want me to do videos with them, and some of you really like them and want me to, so I'm going to do a few but not many, probably just mix it up a bit. And because we've got these leaves with really big areas, I thought the prismas would be quite good for that, so that's why I chose them. Anyway, if you haven't got prismas, I do have some conversion charts in my Ko-fi shop. I haven't got any with me in here, but there's a poly prisma one which could be most useful. I know quite a lot of you have polys, and there are a few others with different brands as well, so that might help you. If you have a brand of pencils and I don't have a conversion chart, let me know, because I might be able to put something together if I have those myself. But that's enough chattering. Let's get on with some colouring. Now I'm thinking flowers first, maybe flowers and leaves. Where should we start? Let's start with these really big leaves, because they're a bit daunting for me. I don't know about you. These, they look a bit like ivy. I don't want to colour them in like really dark, so I'm just going to grab my apple green. So one of my favourites. I haven't got my light on. It helps me to see. I don't know how it works for you. I don't know if it makes a big deal of difference. And I'm actually just going to colour each of these in with a layer of apple green. And then we're going to put some other colours on after. But I find sometimes, especially when it's a big area and I'm a little bit daunted, if I can get a bit of colour down, then I feel a bit happier. Now, these big areas are great with poly prismas because they're so soft. It doesn't take very long to fill in an area. Look at that. You know, whereas if you're using a hard pencil, a Crayola, a Staedtler, a Black Widow, even a polychroma, it's going to take a fair amount of time to fill in this space, and because they're not quite so intense, the colour won't be quite so bright either, so you might feel like you've got to do a few million more layers, so it could take a bit longer. So that's what I sort of like my prismas for, is when I've got a big area to colour and I want to just get some colour down. Derwent are quite good for that as well, particularly the Derwent drawing pencils. They're really good for backgrounds because they're so thick and vibrant. They are earthy colours, so there is a bit of a limit where that's concerned, but I've only used them once for a background. I was really pleased at how quick. It was almost, well, it wasn't quite as quick as pastels, but you know, it was didn't feel too cumbersome, not like when you do a pencil background like polychromos, it takes ages. So anyway, the pros and cons to all brands. You know, having a mix is obviously quite useful. Obviously takes money as well. I have had people recently asking me what brands I recommend. It's really difficult because I think it depends on your budget and whether you prefer a hard or soft pencil. You know, in USA, Prismas are a very good price comparatively to the European brands, but in the UK they really aren't a good price. They never have been. Import duties, etc. So you know, it's a toss-up really. I'm hoping that by now my book might be out in my Ko-fi shop. I've been working on it for quite a while. I don't want to make it too long. It's more like a booklet rather than a book, but I want to make sure I've covered enough. And actually in the shower on a couple of days ago, I came up with a few new ideas to put in it, so that was quite good. But it meant that it sort of made me think maybe I'd better just wait a bit, make sure that I'm Prussian green. We're going to do the sort of centre bit here and up the sort of veiny area there, I think it might be a bit darker. Anyway, so I was in the shower and I came up and the tips with some new ideas for it. So I'm sort of thinking, well, maybe I'd better hold off in case I get another idea and, you know, it's I regret not putting it in or whatever. But I have written lots of books before, so I sort of have an idea of what my brain's going to do, if that makes any sense. So I'm trying to get it together. But I got distracted over the weekend with lots of other things going on. My husband was launching his Ko-fi shop with his bookmarks, and so I was helping him a little bit with that, encouraging him. And I had a huge amount of spring cleaning to do, which took me, and actually Sunday I cleaned and ironed and cleaned windows and cleaned bathrooms and did loads of washing and did some gardening until about and went grocery shopping, and I wasn't done until about 1:30, and then I was on Skype for an hour. And goodness, it just felt like quite a busy day, but that was good. It's nice to get lots done. I hope you can see what I'm doing. I'm going to, it looks messy. Yep, yep, it does. It will get better. So yeah, it was lots, but I'm sort of partly in the mood for spring cleaning. Obviously the garden gets to a point where it needs something doing in it and things like that. I had lots of other jobs that piled up. There was I'm having visitors at Easter, which will be actually when this is coming out. So want to get things nice for them. We had some pictures to hang and things like that as well. But I always think having visitors is a great excuse to get your house nice for yourself. Now I've gone back to my apple green and I'm going to sort of go over some of the areas. So over this end where I've started to darken it, I'm going to make it a lot darker, but sort of fade it off a bit down like that. So over the top of the darker area, and then just fade it a bit into the slightly lighter layer, and the same with that. And we will finish off with a third colour in the end. Yeah, so it's really nice to sort of, you know, your brain's like, I've got to tidy, and then you enjoy it as well. But I've got a lot more to do. So that's okay. But also, one of my sons, hasn't been very good at sitting down and getting on with his work. He had a bit of a wobble midweek, where he suddenly realised how much he had to do and how little time he had to do it in. But when I'm doing household chores, I say to him, you know, you live in this house, it's only fair that you help unless you've got really important work to do, and you have to be concentrating on your work or else you come and help me. So the fact that I was really, really busy getting on with loads and loads of jobs meant that he did the same thing, and he made huge progress in his work, which is brilliant. So that was a great plus. I was really pleased because he's got a few appointments this week. He's in uni all day today, so he can't actually do his assignments. Obviously it's important for him to do that. He's got an appointment in Gloucester tomorrow, which I'm going with him to. And then he's got another appointment in our hometown the day after, and then he's in uni all day on Thursday, so he's got a lot going on. Of course, as I say, I'm recording this in advance, so by the time this goes out he'll be on his Easter holidays, I think. I can't, to be honest, I'm trying to remember the dates. Right, I want a lighter colour just to sort of bring it all together. And Christmas have some nice light. This is the sap green light. I like it. It's quite long, isn't it? It doesn't look like I use it much, but I do like it. Oh, it's really dark. What I'm going to do is use it to fade this colour out a bit, because it's much darker than I'd thought. Like that. So I'm just going to press lightly so that it fades out. My other son has got a presentation, assessed presentation today. It does mean he's going to be home earlier because his class has been cancelled because they're, you know, they're not making them present in front of each other. So the staff have to sort of, you know, sit with each group individually. So he's got that. So he'll be home a bit early. But he's pretty good with his work. Although I'll have a chat with him when he comes home about what he's got on, etc. I do that every so often just to make sure they're thinking about it, you know. But usually they're quite well organised in their head with what they've got to do. It's just actually getting around to doing it. Yeah. He's got good plans. He's got like, he's going to, over the summer holidays, he's going to do his driving theory test. He's not going to get any lessons. He hasn't got time for that as well. He's going to revise for his Microsoft exams, Word, Excel, which he can do in September. So that's good. And he's going to do his live streaming. This is the Pale Sage. I think this was the one I was thinking would be good. And we're going to just do that all over just to make that green look a little bit more solid. Yeah, so he's got, and he's going to do these exams, which he can take in September. As soon as he gets back to uni after the break, he can opt to take them. So it's a really good time before they get stuck into any big heavy work. You know, if he can do it in his first week back, that'd be great. And it's sort of over and done with, really. He might even be able to do it in Freshers Week, which this being, as he'll be a second year, he won't really be involved in that. So that might be useful. My other son, he wants to start doing a bit more streaming too, which is good. He streams on Twitch, not YouTube, but he's thinking of doing that. I think it's good. My one son reckons that streaming has really helped improve his confidence, and I hope it will do it for his brother as well. He also needs to try and find a work placement for his third year. So that's something I'm going to help him put together his CV. Hopefully I can find a good website because it's rather a long time since I had to do one. So that will be good for him. And yes, so that's what he wants to do. Hopefully that will be good. And maybe I was going to suggest to him he might try and do a week of work experience. There's a place in our town that is a software company that I thought could be a good placement opportunity, but they may not. They're really small. They've only got about 5 staff, so it's really unlikely, but I thought it might be worth getting known there, you know. It would be a nice easy commute to work. It's like a 20-minute walk, which would be lovely. Considering at the moment his commute's about an hour longer than that each way. So there we go, leaves. Now these leaves, some of them look like they have, this one looks like it has a stem. I'm not sure that any of the others do. I'm just thinking. I'm going to grab the apple green and just do that stem, I think. Just fit it in quite intense, and then grab my Prussian green and just do a little bit at the top and maybe at the bottom. There we go, that's fine. Now we have a lot of grassy bits. I think I'm just going to stick with the green at the minute. I'm quite liking my apple green. I do like it as a colour, but I think we should try something different, do you? We have, let me look, maybe the grass green. That's quite dark, but that might work. Yeah, let's do that. Is this the grass green? Yeah, this is grass green. So one problem with Prismas is that they get very short very quickly. See how short mine are? I have been using them a fair bit lately. I use them quite a lot in Hannah Carlson's books for, I'm going to try and fade this towards the tip of the blade a little bit. Put less down like that, and I'll put another colour on top, I think, just on the tip. Oh, the sun's coming out. Look at that. Ugh, hold on a minute. I'm gonna have to shut the blind. Whoop. There we go. Hopefully my camera's adjusted okay to the light. Yeah, it's a problem with this time of year. Sun comes out. Anyways, I have been using a fair bit, but because they're so soft, if you want a sharp point, which we will need at some point in this, haha, I'm hilarious, on this page, we will need to keep sharpening it so that we can get into those small spaces, and that means you lose them quite quickly. So that is a little bit of a problem, I think, with softer pencils, and considering how much they are here in the UK. So I haven't actually yet had to replace any, although some of my colours I bought open stock before I had bought my big set. So that's meant that the ones, some of them I have actually replaced with the ones I had that were open stock, if that makes sense. I hope that makes sense. But yeah, it says it is a problem. So if you use a harder pencil like a polychromos, then you don't get this problem. I'm going quite quickly now because I'm just using the same colour. I am still trying to fade it a bit towards the tip. I think that's the tip of a bit of grass too. And here, oh, we've got, that's the stem, isn't it, of the pointy leaf. Now, I find there sometimes you need to do a slightly different technique with the Prismacolor than the polychromo, because with the Prismacolor they're not so see-through. So if you put a colour on top of another colour, it can obscure the colour underneath a fair bit. With the polychromo, they're more see-through, so that doesn't really happen so much. So when you're layering up your colours, you have to do it in a slightly, it doesn't always behave like you would expect, let's put it that way, you know. Now if I do something way too dark on this page, I know that I could just get a white or a lighter coloured Prisma, go over the top of it, and it would eventually fade it right down. Not completely, but fade it quite a lot, so that's quite useful. But they do smudge a lot, so if you want to use a soft pastel in the background of a page you've used Prismacolor on, you have to be really careful that you don't just smudge the Prisma into your back. It might be okay if you do that, but you know, you have to be aware that that is a risk. So you know, just think about that as you're doing it, sort of thing. So also with your hand, some people always put something under their hand. Now I found a couple of stems of these, so this one, so I'm just going to do this with my apple green. Okay, so we'll do this stem here. Oops, this needs sharpening. I didn't bring a sharpener through. And I think this stem here, although it might be that flower, but it doesn't feel like that stem there would then go down here, or this one. So I'm going to colour this one as if it's part of the, as if it's the leaf stem. I think that one is that flower. Okay, and then I'm just going to take the Prussian green again and do a little bit like we did before, so just a bit top and bottom again. This one could do a sharpening too, but I haven't got one. Right, so the tips of our grass I think I want to do in, whoops, in a pencil I've just dropped, in the true green. It's quite a pale bluish green, and it definitely needs a sharpen. I'm going to go and get a sharpener. Right, I have now sharpened it. But talking of sharpeners, it's always useful. People often ask me what sharpeners I use. Now for soft pencils like these, I tend to use my Dowel 133. It's a hand crank sharpener. I think it's it's a good price for a hand crank sharpener. I've also got a Derwent one, which is equally as good but much more expensive. I mean, I couldn't say with regards to how long each is going to last, you know, value for money wise, but so far so good. The dowel always feels to me like it's a bit cheap, in the sense that when I open and close it to put the pencil in and out, I always worry a little bit that I'm going to break it, but I never have. And I use it loads and I'm very heavy handed. So I think it's, I'm very happy with it. And so I use that for these. Now, someone explained to me that with the hand crank sharpeners, they tend to compress the pencil, push it hard. And if your lead is broken, oh, we haven't done that tip. Oh, it tends to, this is back to the grass green, just to do that tip there. It tends to compress it, so it pushes it together. So if it's a little bit broken or damaged, it sort of smushes it up. Because it's quite soft, it can compact again, and that helps the pencil to hold together better. I don't know if that is the reason, but I definitely find that even with a harder pencil, which I tend to use in my Staedtler Norris Club sharpener, if it keeps breaking, if I stick it in my hand crank sharpener, it tends to not break. So that's interesting. Oh, by the way, if it does break in your hand crank sharpener, it's quite tricky to get the lead out. But I made a video ages ago, which just suddenly seems to have become really popular, on how to get the lead out, because it's hard to know exactly how to open it and where to find it and how to get it out. So I did a little video on it. So if you get a lead stuck in your hand crank sharpener, don't worry, it isn't broken. You can get it out. You just have to follow an instruction. Now, also with my dowel, it's much easier to do that than with my Derwent, because you have to remove, let me show you, you have to remove this handle and you just turn it. On my Derwent, it's really, really stiff and difficult to turn. Sometimes I have to get a husband to do it for me. Whereas with the dowel, I've always found it dead easy. Don't know why, but yeah. Right, we have crocuses to colour, and these. Now there, I'm not sure what those are. Now Maria normally tells us in the back of her book what the flowers are. This one is grape hyacinths and bleeding hearts. I need to find out the page number. Hang on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, I think. Anemone, hepatica, crocus, and salix caprea. The salix, oh, it's 3. So these are in, yeah, I think those are the anemones. These are crocuses, and the other one is probably that, what the nest is made of. So, so if these are anemones, it could be red or purple. Let's do the crocuses in purple or violet. Let's do them. I'm thinking maybe imperial violet might be the right colour. Maybe. We'll try it. We'll use it as a base anyway. So imperial violet. Now the centre of a crocus, even the purpley ones, tends to be, I'm going to put a fairly even layer on here, and then I'll use my violet to put in a bit of shadow, I think. The centre of a crocus tends to be yellow, the saffron colour, the sort of middle bits. So we'll try and leave those without any colour on and put some saffrony yellow on. I'm sure we have something like that. That's a nice, slightly orangey yellow, I would say. I think we'll leave that stem. We'll do that in a green. See, should that be grass? See, these stems could be the actual, I think they're the crocus stems. Because crocuses are quite, sort of grassy. The leaves are sort of quite grassy. I've got some in my garden at the minute, and the flowers have gone over and the leafy bits are sort of grassy. It's quite interesting actually. Ah no, that's the back of that leaf. This picture's got like Easter bunny and eggs and things in it, and looks Eastery, but all the crocuses have gone over already. We're a couple of weeks before Easter, and it's just a street cleaner lorry outside. It's really noisy. Anyway, the crocuses have already gone over, and Easter is early this year, so not sure why they're in this picture, but they're pretty, and I'm going to enjoy colouring them. There's definitely a sign of spring, aren't they? Once the crocuses come out, we know we probably get a bit more snow, but it feels like spring is on the way. And a lot of people feel very happy and positive about it getting warmer. I don't, but a lot of people do. And it is nice that people are happier. Gosh, it must be in our street. It is so noisy. But that's good, making our street nice and clean. It's very rare for us to get street cleaner in our actual street. As we're a small residential cul-de-sac, so we don't get a lot of services, unlike on the sort of big roads where they're constantly cleaned and they clean the drains and do all that. Wow, it's noisy. I don't know if you can hear it. It's so noisy. I'm tempted to go out and go off and have a nosy at it. Oh, I'm gonna just check how. I couldn't see it, and it's gone. But there was it left some clues. The road was nice and clean, so it definitely been along. I think it had gone right down to the end of the road. I was too slow, but I did make myself a coffee because I thought I would. Oh, sorry, just switching my tablet back on, just in case my boys message me. And anyways, yes, I made myself a quick coffee while I was down there. Now I'm trying to stay in the lines, but being a little bit messy. There we go. I'm never sure what colour to colour a rabbit. You know, I've looked at photos, I've seen rabbits. I know they come in like browns, greys, sort of colour. I'm never sure whether it's the Easter bunny, a specific colour. Got no idea. Right, I'm going to grab the violet. I think no, I'm not. I've changed my mind, sorry. I'm going to use the dioxazine purple hue. It needs a sharpen. And because I think the violet is a little bit too pink for what I want. See why I avoid using this on camera. Very noisy. Right, so I'm just going to put some in the areas where I think it's going to be a little bit darker. So where the petals are overlapping on the leaves that are slightly further back, that sort of thing. And just add a few details. This one is all closed up, so I'm just going to do this sort of edges and those back bits. Same as this one. Now it looks a little bit messy, but I don't really want to add any more layers of colour, so I can see if I've got a blender in here in a minute. Just a bit. So the ones that are further back I feel would be darker. Excuse me, I had a bit of chocolate when I was away. It's made me cough. Serves me right. Yeah, it's very nice. Yeah, I go to our local sweet shop in our town. Nice to support the high street. And yeah, I've got a blender. I got a Prismacolor colourless Prisma blender, and if you look, you can just put it on and it just smushes it all, and you can't see the white paper anymore. Yeah, they do this lovely 100% chocolate, which is my favourite brand. I only have 100% because I don't eat sugar, and it's Chocolada is the brand. They don't only do 100%, but I don't know what their other chocolates are like. I only have that one, and it's not as acidic and bitter as some, which is good, makes it pleasant to eat, and that has nice flavour, and it's a nice fair trade, small company, all that things, you know, pay farmers a fair price, that sort of thing. It's very expensive, and but that's good. Now I know that in the US your chocolate is really different to ours. It's quite interesting. I understand, I don't know how true this is, that apparently Hershey's, someone accidentally let the milk go sour or something and put it in some chocolate, and everyone liked it, so that's how they do it, and you can taste that in the chocolate and it gives it a unique taste. In the UK we don't make ours like that, so it means that ours tastes significantly different, and some people in the UK really love Hershey's chocolate, some people don't like it at all, some people just like all chocolate, you know, all brands, but we tend to have in our supermarkets, I'm just going to look for the stem colour, I'm going to do it the same colour as these grassy bits. What did I do? Oh, grass green, you can use that. So in our supermarkets and in my local sweet shop, we have an American section, and we have a small variety of Hershey's products. We have some Reese's. We sell, some shops have things like Lucky Charms. Oh, the cleaning machine's coming back, I can hear it. And it's very exciting. I have to share with you because you're going to be excited. Right, the yellow centres next. So we get this sort of mix of a sort of select range, sunburst yellow I think is going to work, of products from the US. But apparently the company that own Hershey's now own Cadbury's, I think. And Cadbury's is one of our most well-known chocolate brands, and a lot of people say it's not as nice anymore, but I don't know whether that's got anything to do with them being taken over. I'm just going to fiddle around with my blending pencil a bit to tidy up. So basically where there's white paper showing through, I can use my blending pencil to cover that up. I don't mind it in some places, but in some places a bit too much. Yeah, so I think that's what's going on, but it's difficult. I know, I think Kraft are a big chocolate company as well in the UK, but they're not English. They're American, aren't they, Kraft? And I think they do they do Toblerone? Things like that, I don't know. Anyway, but and Nestle, of course, do quite a big, the sort of Kit Kat, Nestle. Oh, I haven't done that stem. And then there's Mars. Who do Mars? Grass green, Mars bars. I don't know if you get, I know they're named different names. Like, there we go. I'm just having a look at all my stems and greenery, and we're going to do the anemones, and then we're going to leave the rest for tomorrow. Now I'm just trying to think. Anemones have black and white in the middle. What I'm going to do is colour the petals in red, do the circles in black with the centres in white, I think. I may change my mind. And I'm thinking a really vibrant red, so I'm going to grab this Crimson Lake. It's quite a dark red. I think it'll work nicely with the purple. We'll find out, won't we? yeah, so then we have some more independent ones. There's Tony's Chocolonely, which is a very ethical brand he makes sure the farmers are paid well, that sort of thing, you know. Some people do worry about, you know, cocoa farming, as well as paying farmers fair trade, you know, good rates. There's the worry about deforestation, things like that. It's something within all our food, really, isn't it? You know, coffee, it's the same. All sorts of things that come from abroad. We don't always think about what's going on with the environment, but I think you can over worry. You know, it's not always easy to. I mean, unless you just grow all your own food or buy food that's produced in your own country, then you know you struggle. And actually, in the UK, we're quite small. We do grow some food. Gosh, what's going on here? That's the back of a petal, I think. You know, we grow wheat a lot, veggies, some veggies and things, but we're starting to grow soya. We don't grow a lot because we don't feed our cattle soya very much. We grow grass. We feed our cattle grass most of the time, and then when it's winter and they can't eat, you know, there's no grass or they're inside or whatever, the farmers do tend to mow fields and keep it for them to have in the winter, as much grass as they can. And they might just bulk it out with a little bit of other feed. So we don't grow lots of soya for that reason. Obviously we do have vegans here who have soya milk. I have soya milk myself. The soya milk I buy, I think it's grown in America, the soya. But I think a lot of soya is used for cattle feed, isn't it? And what else do we grow? You know, grow lots of apples and apples, pears, rhubarb, lots of greens. You know, your Brussels sprouts, your cabbages, broccoli, all those brassicas, all those sorts of things. Carrots and root veg, turnips and parsnips and potatoes, of course. Lots of potatoes. And we obviously have dairy. I think most of our dairy that we consume is from the UK, I think. As far as I can tell. Certainly in the supermarket I shop at, it is. But we also have a demand for foreign food. We do like we grow loads of sugar as well in this country, much to my disgust. So we like our bananas. Can't grow bananas in the UK. We like our avocados. Can't grow those. Olives, olive oil. Those are get those from Spain, Italy. Yeah, we're not quite hot enough here, thank goodness, to grow those things. And melons, a lot of people like melons, we don't grow those. So we tend to, and other tropical fruits, as we call them, pineapples, kiwis, that sort of thing, you know, can't grow those. So if we only ate food that we could grow in this country, we would have quite a limited diet. Our fruit from May onwards until apples and pears, cherries, strawberries, and sort of soft fruits we can grow. But then obviously the seasons are quite short on a soft fruit. Apples and pears can be stored, and then rhubarb grow a lot of. But that's it really. You know, people have got used to having berries and all sorts of things all year round. You know, all of our supermarkets tend to have fresh fruit and veg all year round, most types. There's certain foods you can't, Brussels sprouts, asparagus, things like that, but you can get strawberries all year round. It's mad. And blueberries and things like that, but blackberries come in aren't yearly. So I'm now going to use my black to do the dots on the edge, but I do sometimes find it's completely overwhelming. When I go to the supermarket, I tend to buy the things I always buy because I just get overwhelmed by the variety of choice, and apparently it is a known thing that if you have too much choice you actually buy less because you just can't make a decision, and it's stressful apparently for everybody trying to make that choice. No, my son finds it hard. He's always found it hard to make decisions, and I remember when he was in primary school his teacher said to me, you know, he finds it really hard to make decisions. Okay. And I didn't know whether this was something I was supposed to be worried about. Why did she tell me this? I don't know. I talked to him about it and he said, well, I was asked to pick a book and I didn't know what to pick because I didn't know what they'd be about. So, you know, so I taught him how to read the synopsis on the back of a book, and then you've got a better idea of what the book's going to be about and it helps you to pick it. So that helped him. He still found it tricky because there's obviously, as we all know, the synopsis doesn't always tell the full story of what's going to happen. Right, I'm not very happy with the centres of these. They don't look dark enough. What I'm going to do is go back into them again with my same, no, let's use a different red. Hang on, I've got one here. This is our Tuscan red. I'm just going to do a little bit in the middle with this. I don't want too much because I want the black to still stand out, but I just feel like I want it to be a little bit darker around those black seeds. Some of these are better coloured than others. Some of them are easier depending on what's around them as well. Yes, I've got to take my son to an appointment tomorrow and it's at 8 o'clock, which doesn't sound stupidly early, but it's not in the town we live. I've got to get a 7 o'clock train, and my son likes to leave 40 minutes before the train leaves when he's getting the train. So that means I've got to leave here at 6:20 in the morning. And I normally get up at 6:15. We're going to get up at 5:15, me and him, and we should be okay. I've got to try and find time to make the lunch boxes for the other people, my other son and husband, or else they won't get any because they probably won't make their own because I know what they're like. The sunlight. The tips of my leaves I'm just going to go over with a slightly lighter colour just to finish them off. This one might work. What's this? Yeah, this is the carmine red. It's a slightly pinky one, I think. Oh, I didn't do that one. Sorry, I'm just going to do that one with my Tuscan. Did you notice? Did you shout at me? I haven't done it. There we go. And then I'm just going to go gently over the leaves just to finish them off, make them look a little bit brighter. Now, where I have gone over this white, and it's now looking red and black and things, I could use a white pen to whiten them a bit, but I'm a bit worried that it might bleed. No, it shouldn't do. I'm just looking at the colours that I've used, because some of the Prismacolors bleed into white pen, but these don't. So I think I can go over it with a white pen if I want to, just to clean it up a bit. But I may not bother, or I may wait because I'll smudge it. Now, I'm going to stop in a minute. I'm going to do the stems though first. and I've got no idea what colour anemone stems are, so I'm going to guess. You can look it up and do it a realistic colour, but I'm not going for realism, as you can see, so I'm not too worried. I'm just going to find something I like, go for that. I think they might be quite dark. I don't know why, I just have that feeling, so I might go for the dark green, but I'll have a look in a minute once I finish this bit. Yeah, I'm going to stop because I've made a cup of coffee when I went to nose out the window, and I'll be getting cold, so I'll go and drink that and then come back to you. Well, I won't come back to you, come back tomorrow. Right, and my son might finish his presentation right now. Right, I've sharpened my dark green. Here we go. And so we've got these stems to do. I thought it might be easier to do a stem in a dark colour because it's thinner. It will just show up, because behind this one, look, we've got this nest, and there's going to be all sorts of browns I predict I'm going to do. I'm not entirely sure what's leaf and what's nest. I'm just going to commit to filling in a few areas. So we'll do these dark stems. Go, and I think they'll just stand out a bit. I might keep the those are catkins, aren't they? The nest is sort of made with catkins. I think it's almost a greeny brown. Might use an ochre. I'll have a think before I start, or maybe not, maybe I'll just wing it, who knows. But that is what we've done so far. Let me just come out a bit so you can see it in context of the whole picture, like that. So there is it so far. I think it's quite vibrant, isn't it? The prismas are very bright, but I want our eggs to be a little pastel-y. Hopefully that'll work with the sort of bright frame and pastel centre. We'll see. I'll try it, who knows. Anyway, that's all for tomorrow. So for today, I am done. So thank you for watching. Hoping that was okay. Have a very happy day, and thank you, and happy colouring.